Exploring Indonesian EFL Student Strategies and Resources in Writing by Wichda Erika Febriarti. There are several things that I will explain in this opportunity. The first is background of the study, the second is previous studies, the third is research questions, the fourth is objective of the research, the fifth is significance of the research, then the definition of key terms, next, scope and limitation of the research, next, the research design, then the data and source of data, next, the data collection and data analysis, and the last is trustworthiness. The first is background of the study. The first paragraph explains about the importance of writing strategies and resources for students to improve their writing. The second paragraph explains about teachers' role in teaching writing strategies and resources. The third paragraph explains about the students' problem in using writing strategies and resources. And the last paragraph explains about the importance of conducting the research. The next, the previous studies. The first previous study by Lei 2008. He found that Chinese teachers use some strategies such as work-mediated strategy, rhetoric-mediated strategy, L2-mediated strategy to facilitate their students in acquiring a good writing outcomes. The second previous study by Suryanti and Yacob 2016. They found that most of the teachers use limited teaching writing strategies in their teaching and learning activities because they are lack of knowledge and they do not know many writing approaches. And the next is by Ahmed 2010. He found that Egyptian students are lack of motivation, confidence, and strategies in writing. So, most of the previous study talk about the teacher's strategies in teaching and the teacher's role in teaching writing. No one talk about the students' strategies and resources and how they use it. And the next, the research questions. There are three research questions of this research. The first is what are the strategies used by students in writing in English Education Department at WINSA? The second is what are the resources used by students in writing in English Education Department at WINSA? And the third is how the students use the strategies and resources in their writing in English Language Education Department at WINSA. And the next, the objectives of the research. There are three objectives of the research. The first is to explore the strategies used by students in writing in English Language Education Department at WINSA. And the second is to explore the resources used by students in writing in English Language Education Department at WINSA. And the third is to analyze how the students use the strategies and resources in their writing in Language Education Department at WINSA. And the next is the significance of the research. These findings of this research can be a reference for other researchers who will conduct a similar case study about the strategies and resources used by students in writing in different levels of students or other related topics such as teachers' perceptions, students' challenges, writing challenges, students' motivation and attitude in writing. Also, it will be beneficial for teachers about what are the appropriate strategies that they should teach to the students, and it will be also beneficial for the students for what are the strategies that they should use in their writing. And the next, the definition of key terms. The first is writing. This research defines writing as an ability to write something with a particular purpose, which use an appropriate strategy and many references to support it. The next, the writing strategy is the strategy in writing is the part of writing which helps the student to be easier in writing, such as mind mapping, clustering, comparing, contrasting, generalizing, relating, outlining, sorting, and etc. The next is writing research. Is a part of writing process which helps the writers to reach their theories of or references in the writing so that their writing will be highly valued as a good writing which rich of evidence. The next is scope and limitation of the research. This research only investigates what are the strategies and resources in writing used by third semester students of English language education in written class in Wichda and how they use it. The next, the research design. This research is a qualitative descriptive which is supposed to give more exploration about the resources and strategies used by the English language education department students of Wichda in writing. And the next, the data and source of data. The first, the data. The data of this research are the information about the writing strategies used by the third semester students of English language education department of Wichda, the writing resources used by them, and how they use it. And the source of data in this study are the recording or notes from the interview session and questionnaire with the higher education students with the major English language education department of State Islamic University of Sunan Ampel, Surabaya. The next, the data collection and data analysis. The first is this research used interview to answer the research question 1 and 2, and the next, this research used questionnaire to answer research question 3. And the last is about the trustworthiness. This research uses triangulation to avoid a bias of the data collected by combining of data collected from interview and questionnaire into one unit as a main finding of this research.